We don't take kindly to your types around here.
We don't take too kindly to people who don't take too kindly. Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content. Anywhere on the internet, promise, swearsies, it's just a fact. And it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into rSlash NeckbeardStories. I mean, technically it comes from my personal subreddit rSlash ReddX reads, but it doesn't really matter where the beards come from. This is actually a college professor who is a beard, and it was posted by user BeardyStory. It is a nice and beefy one, estimated reading time of about 15 minutes, so with all the rambling that I do, I don't know, maybe we'll push the 20-minute mark, maybe the 25-minute mark. I make no promises. But I am looking forward to getting into it. It should be an interesting one, so let's just get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some college professor neckbeard cringe. My college professor asked me to move in with him. ARBORBEARD's call for companionship. ARBORBEARD. He's an ent. Tree beard. Trigger warning, there are themes of sexual assault. Also edit, reworded, fixed errors. I wrote this late last night. Anyways, hi all. I think it's time that I tell my story, especially after watching many neckbeard videos. Also, if you see this Red, keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, BeardyStory. I definitely will. I definitely love to share these stories with you guys, whether they end up extremely cringy or extremely, desperate and, with a message of hopefulness at the end. That's kind of the two vibes we got going around here, and I absolutely love it that way. Anyways, to keep things standard, it's best that I introduce our cast of characters. So, introducing OP, a college-age student trying to transfer from community college, unknowingly getting groomed by his professor. For reference, I'm a guy with average build and average stature. I'm into doing stuff outside, like hiking and biking, although I do indulge in some community service to feel good about myself. Already, OP, you seem like a good egg. I'm sorry you had to go through this in advance. The professor, who shall henceforth be known as ARBORBEARD. He's a professor of philosophy at my community college who has a very weird obsession with trees. Yeah, you can rule 34 just about anything these days. He oversaw a student club, which I joined, that dealt with planting stuff around campus. ARBORBEARD is 6'1" at 350 pounds, with the stereotypical childlike nature of a neckbeard. Bad children. Our dear old beard also happens to be gay and from a religious background, which is important to our story. Bob Marley, yeah man, the student who ran our club. Bob was known to smoke marijuana and listen to lots of reggae. Yeah, bro, I plant trees, but I also smoke trees. He and ARBORBEARD usually butt head for different reasons pertaining to club politics. Bob Marley definitely knew what he was talking about when it came to botany and green stuff. Persimmon, which is a reference to ARBORBEARD's favorite tree, a bisexual club member who was the object of ARBORBEARD's desire. Persimmon, or Perry, was an effeminate person with an emo aesthetic. Oh, I know a couple people in the comments are into that. Robert Corbell, I'm talking to you. Anyways, with introductions out of the way, let's get started. It was about 3 years ago. I had to complete certain requirements to graduate out of my mediocre community college. One of the classes I had chosen was philosophy because it seemed interesting. Yeah, and somehow making tests and standardizing philosophy makes it a lot less interesting from what I found. By this point in my college career, I had not managed to make friends, as everyone already knew each other from their respective high schools, so I was trying to find a club to join in order to branch out socially. Also, social interaction gets tiring for me. Oh, preach. I'm so with you on that last sentence, OP. First day of philosophy class. I get into the large auditorium-style lecture room where I got to meet ARBORBEARD. He didn't strike me as anything weird, at least at first. ARBORBEARD was indeed your run-of-the-mill professor with a goatee and gray hair, all the while sporting an "I don't want to be here" face. After screwing with the computer for what seemed like hours, he finally got through the first day's stuff, like syllabus and assignments. I knew this class was going to be easy based on the assignments alone. Just turn things in and get a grade. By the end of the class, ARBORBEARD said,
"We need some extra hands for the planting next Tuesday. Feel free to inquire with me about it."
For me, this was an excellent opportunity to join a club and try and meet some people, all while doing something that I legitimately enjoyed. I ended up inquiring and asking about how the club worked. However, unbeknownst to me, this would be the beginning of a very weird relationship with our dear ARBORBEARD. The club. In the spirit of keeping things simple, I'll consolidate this part of the story to try and keep it short. In the first meeting of the club, it was the usual introductions and agenda setting. One thing to note is that other people had to come out and water the plants, so it was important to stay in contact with each other. Being the responsible person that I am, I volunteered my time to water the plants. To communicate, we used a group chat app to keep things in check. However, some of the students, including Bob Marley, gave ARBORBEARD their personal phone numbers to keep in contact with him, as his phone
would not install the app.
Boomer problems! I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I gave ARBORBEARD my number. In the following days, ARBORBEARD would contact me with
"Water the plants, I'm too busy"
type of texts. Fine, I can do that. It's not the worst thing to go out and water those plants, at least for me. However, it became a regular thing to unload his club responsibilities onto me. Anything to not get out of the air conditioning, I guess. The first major project came and went without a hitch. ARBORBEARD did help, but not too much, as he
didn't want to throw out his back.
Oh no! I started a club for planting and I don't like to plant. You stupid, bro. Now, the second major project had me involved in the planning process, and here's where things got a bit more interesting. One of ARBORBEARD's responsibilities as the club overseer was to get funding for our projects, so he did hold some power in the club. Officially, he
didn't intervene,
but that was total bullshit. When something didn't go his way, he would throw a fit and argue with Bob Marley about it. One of those times we headed out to the nursery, we had to get plants chosen by our other club members. One of these plants that we had to get was a citrus tree chosen by Perry. However, Bob Marley, in his haze, you know what that means, and he forgot to purchase said citrus tree. This sent ARBORBEARD into a massive temper tantrum about how Bob was
making decisions without other club members' involvement.
This caused ARBORBEARD to threaten Bob with cutting him off from the funding, but it never did happen when everything was said and done. Bob and ARBORBEARD never really saw eye to eye on things involving the club, while Bob was just kind of in a haze, purple haze, and flaked out at club meetings. ARBORBEARD would regularly throw tantrums because he didn't get his way, threatening to
cut funding to the club.
This would happen a few more times in my time at this club, but nothing did come out of ARBORBEARD's childish antics. Yeah, I think he's just trying to throw his weight around. Quite literally. The texts. While ARBORBEARD may not present himself as a traditional neckbeard, he certainly was one on the inside. It's the beard on the inside that counts. Visit Teespring. Get the t-shirt. I made it. It's here. He showered and he didn't try to force his view on others. However, he was definitely a man-child, and a very creepy one at that. The creepiness didn't really show up until I started getting texts from him. Now you might think, OP, why'd you give your phone number out to a professor? Or, OP, he's just being nice. Firstly, I learned that lesson pretty quick. Secondly, ARBORBEARD was beginning to text me outside of school hours. He was texting me after 10 p.m. of all times.
Hey, you up?
No, bitch. Leave me alone. The first time this happened, ARBORBEARD had texted me a long essay about some tree that he had seen on a hike. This wasn't a copied and pasted article from Wikipedia. He wrote out a whole damn essay for me to not read. Just give it a TLDR, bro. Now, I'm the type of person to act interested in real life, but this text made me rethink how I should act towards certain people. He talked all about the local flora and fauna to me in real life. However, outside of school, at 10 p.m., I was not ready to learn about a fucking tree. I didn't even respond to him until the next morning, and I just said, nice, in response. One word to reply to a wall of text. There's nothing more passive-aggressive, and it's absolutely beautiful. Well played, OP. I probably would just ghosted him, but I like nice. That's pretty nice. He took this as his chance to write a whole other essay on another tree that he saw, all in text. This boy really does love trees. By this point, I think he could tell how uninterested I was with this, so he did back off. For a while, that is. At the time, I did find it weird that he was texting me at 10 p.m. However, this was before he came out to me. Coming out. I took 2 classes with ARBORBEARD. The first being a general philosophy class, the second being an environmental ethics class. A neckbeard teaching an ethics class. The sweet irony of life. The latter class had us going on field trips to different local preserves, learning all about their respective flora and fauna. I found the class both relaxing and interesting, and I also learned some important details about ARBORBEARD. With these field trips, students either had to take their own cars or carpool. I would switch between the two because I didn't feel like using my own gas to drive to these parks. Damn right. Stuff ain't cheap. You think I'm gonna do this for free? Bite it. One class, we took a field trip to a nearby trail. I opted to carpool with ARBORBEARD because why not? To break the silence on the drive, I asked ARBORBEARD why he had chosen philosophy as his career. This is when he told me about his sexual orientation. He ultimately wanted me to understand
Why his family hated him,
and
why religion was so against men being with men.
fair enough. I think that's something that can help him on his journey of self-discovery. I came out in support of his sexuality because I think people like him need it, but I kind of regret doing that. I'm with it, OP. I mean, you can be whoever you are, but don't use it as like a tool to try and take advantage of anybody else. In this same car trip, he took the liberty to comment on my appearance. He said things like,
You're keeping trim and fit.
And
I wish I had your body.
that can be taken a couple different ways, OP. Please clarify, had your body like on you, or had my body while it's still on me? Because either way, it's not gonna happen. I just want to be clear. Mind you, I do not have the physique of a god, but I guess compared to him, that's exactly what I had. I guess I was the only one who would
Break his long dry spell.
God, dude. He tried to get on Grindr, but the app wouldn't install. Kill me. The pandemic. After the latter incident, ARBORBEARD didn't make any more mentions of his sexuality, which makes me even more suspicious now that I think of it. After leaving the environmental ethics class, I was no longer required to take any more classes with ARBORBEARD. In pre-pandemic 2020, the club was basically beginning to fall apart anyways. Bob Marley was beginning to flake out on more meetings, while he wanted me to take the lead. I wasn't really wanting to for many reasons. but it was mainly because this was my last semester at this school. I also knew very little about botany. After the third club meeting of the year, I was done with trying to keep things together. ARBORBEARD also began telling me how bad of a person Bob was because of
how much marijuana he smoked instead of taking charge.
Bro, let people do what they want to do. He's a college student. You're a teacher. Get it together. Once the pandemic hit and lockdowns happened, I didn't hear much from Bob or ARBORBEARD. I was mostly grinding out my last semester in order to transfer to a better college. Now, I'm known to be a homebody. Most of us here are OP. But I do need to get out of the house to stay sane. This is when ARBORBEARD contacted me to
help with watering the plants.
I took this opportunity to get out of the house. Socially distanced, we met up at the campus and caught up. Mind you, this was the first time in a while that ARBORBEARD and I had had a one-on-one conversation. Without disclosing too much information, we do live in a hot part of the country. Being someone who didn't want to sweat in a nice shirt, I opted to wear a dry-fit shirt and some football shorts. This wasn't anything flattering, but ARBORBEARD sure seemed to take notice. ARBORBEARD said things like,
you're looking trim and fit during this pandemic.
And,
what's your workout?
What's your workout? Yeah, bro, like you're gonna go home and try it out? Who you trying to fool here? I did tell him what I did, but I was really beginning to notice how creepy he was. I had mentioned how Bob Marley had begun to flake out of the club meetings, and this sent ARBORBEARD on a rant. It's a bad topic choice, OP. Come on, bro. ARBORBEARD said that
Bob made unilateral decisions without asking Perry or anyone else.
In his eyes, Bob Marley smoked too much marijuana. That's a funny sentence. And he was becoming more and more insane with each passing day, all of which I knew to be false. Bob was apparently
a narcissist who threatened him.
ARBORBEARD was referring to something in the past, but didn't mention exactly what had happened. I still wonder what it was. ARBORBEARD also managed to sneak in some clever double entendres about some of the other club members. Something about
drinking their Kool-Aid and other various bodily fluids.
Oh, God! Nope! That is the best cringe. God. Please, never again. Shiver indeed. I can't remember the exact context of this part of the conversation, as my mind thankfully blocked most of it out. By the way, yes, I have talked about this with a therapist. Well, thank God for that. In the last 3 videos, we've had mentions of therapists. If you're someone out there looking for a therapist, you probably should get into it, you know? Everybody can utilize therapy in some way. Sorry for the tangent. After we finished watering the plants, I went home with a very bad taste in my mouth. Was it because of those bodily fluids? Oh, I'm dying. But it still wasn't enough for me to cut ARBORBEARD out completely. Oh no, it indeed gets worse with the next part. Car troubles and a lonely man-child. A few days after ARBORBEARD's rant about Bob Marley, he texted me saying that
his car battery had died.
I found it weird that he was texting me specifically about this, but this is ARBORBEARD that we're talking about. After I mentioned that you could take an Uber home, he said that
those people have been partying
and that he
didn't want to breathe the same air as them.
Who, the Uber drivers? What are you talking about? Now, for reference, ARBORBEARD lived about 40 minutes away from the college. So this bastard mentions that he was
gonna walk all the way home.
He's not gonna make it, bro. He's gonna have a heart attack before he gets there. Through some miracle, this guilt trip did manage to work on me. Oh, P, come on. I'm rooting for you here. Come on. So I said that I would come down and pick him up. So I drove to the campus and indeed did pick him up. He thanked me because he knew that
I didn't party like some of the other people he knew.
Most likely referring specifically to Bob Marley. On the way up to his house, he mentioned that
I haven't had any students at my home in a while.
Yeah, I wonder why. Anyways, after getting on the highway, he leans over to
check my speed
several times. My speed is slow, bro. My speed is stop, okay? I do not want any more of this. Now, ARBORBEARD didn't care that I was speeding, so it was even weirder that he was leaning over to check. We finally get to his house. He pays me and shows me around. Oh no. It was an older A-frame style home that needed some renovations. Honestly, going into his home was a mistake in itself. Yeah. He was a lot bigger and could have gotten his way if he really wanted to. Thank God he didn't, OP. Jesus. I have noticed that guys seem to be like a lot less wary about stuff like this, but bad stuff can happen to guys too. You know what I mean? You should always be keeping your head on a swivel. Anyways, seeing the inside of the house, you could easily see his neck-beardy ways. It was a mess of books, trash, and other things that he just didn't bother to clean. The whole place was in dire need of renovations. He takes me on a tour and shows me a back bedroom with more stuff on the floor. It was a bedroom that he slept in and used as another place to drop his trash. I say trash, but it was basically just random stuff that he collected. Side note, his master bedroom was too full of stuff to sleep in, so he slept in this back room. That is really weird. Maybe he's compulsive or like a hoarder in some way, but he manages to hold down a job, so I don't know. Again, therapy might help. As he enters said room, he mentions that
he's looking for a roommate.
Now this is where the alarm bells really started going off. He said that rent
was $300 a month,
which was a steal for that area, but I could
pay in other ways by doing work around his house.
He disguises his true intentions by saying that
it's a very good place to crash because it's so close to the college that I wanted to go through.
But I saw through this thinly veiled attempt to pull me into his weird little fantasy. I politely rejected his offer, saying that I still wasn't sure what school I was going to. Well, as with any neckbeard, we know that they don't take too kindly to rejection. We don't take too kindly to people who don't take too kindly. I'm cracking myself up. ARBORBEARD was no exception to this rule. With his first ploy failing, he fell back to pity stories. When talking about the state of his house, he mentions that
with a roommate, I could finally afford to renovate this old home.
But this doesn't work on me either. I mentioned that I wasn't going to commit to something like that until I knew for sure which school I was going to. After all of this, he offers me a beer, which for me is a no-brainer. But I watched him open that bottle like a hawk. The beer never left my sight either. Looking back on this, I really shouldn't have accepted, but I had never tried that beer. I will give you some points here, OP, for being very leery about accepting a drink from this man, but like, you shouldn't really even be in his house in the first place after some of these comments that he's made. I don't care if I never tried that beer before. I'll make a note of it and go buy my own pack down at the liquor store, you know? While drinking with him, ARBORBEARD mentions that he
doesn't get women,
and that
young men like me get it.
Nope, again. At this point, I decide to just chug my beer and leave very promptly. However, there are still a few loose ends to be tied up, and I would make sure, damn sure, that they would be tied. ARBORBEARD still needed to get his car back and mentioned that he would pay me to drive him until the next day. Oh, one more day. Hang in there, OP, you can do it. Tying up loose ends. I'm a person who likes to see things through, most of the time. In this case, I would be paid well to drive ARBORBEARD back to his car. For reference, the car was taken to a dealer near the college. Is that the dealer that Bob Marley's buying from? Oh, you mean a car dealership? Never mind, that's different. God damn it. I agreed to take ARBORBEARD back to his car because I felt that I needed to tie up some loose ends before I graduated. For one, ARBORBEARD had told me that he could block Bob Marley's graduation because of his grades. This did kinda scare me, not gonna lie. I didn't want anything to happen to my graduation if he didn't get his way. Knowing my community college, there was more than just a little bit of corruption among the ranks, so I played my cards right. I get a text from ARBORBEARD about his car being ready, and that
his door was unlocked while he took a shower.
Oh no! Definitely not. I appreciate the info, I guess, but never in a million years. Whew. That's another very good shiver. I arrive at ARBORBEARD's house and just waited outside the door until he got out of the shower. I was greeted with a shirtless ARBORBEARD, and boy, it was something to behold. Belly and everything. Since ARBORBEARD hadn't heard from the mechanic, he took it upon himself to show me his trees, along with yet another attempt to guilt me into being his roommate. The mechanic called and I drove there like a madman. After we got there, I asked for the money and was met with a weird look. He just gave me the cash and I promptly left. This was my last interaction, thankfully, with ARBORBEARD. After that, I told ARBORBEARD that I'd be moving to a far-off college with a family friend. After said text, I blocked his number and never responded again. Reflection. Although ARBORBEARD did not come across as a neckbeard, he was one, deep down. ARBORBEARD didn't stink, watch anime, or carry a katana, but ARBORBEARD did act like a child and had a messy home. And he also meets the criteria of ReddX Industries with the delusions of grandeur and the self-entitlement, specifically towards OP's body and things like that. As for OP, well, I did graduate with no hitch. I went to a better school and was looking to do my master's degree. Although I can't disclose too much about myself in order to protect my own identity, I have gone to a therapist for different reasons, but I did mention this story to them, so I have processed this in many different ways. As for ARBORBEARD, well, he still texted me, even after I blocked him. A glitch with the messaging app that I used would allow for picture messages to come through, even though someone was marked as blocked. Oh god. That's bad news bears. I never bothered to answer ARBORBEARD's call for companionship. And OP also didn't mention what the pictures were, so I hope that our imagination is scarier than the reality. I eventually told Bob Marley what happened, and he agreed that, yeah, dude, that is a weird situation. I only really told Bob because I wanted to stop ARBORBEARD's predation of young men. However, I'm not sure if Bob Marley ever told anyone else or even remembered for that fact. Yeah, it's good to smoke up, but quantity is important, you know? Just save it for a little like once in a while treat or something like that. You ain't gotta blaze every day, Bob. Now, some of you may ask, why didn't you take this up with the authorities or the college? Well, like I said, the college that I went to was full of cronies and corrupt people, so I didn't really trust the administration at our school. As for the authorities, I found that it would be better to say nothing. Involving police and lawyers could have affected my transfer out of that hellhole, and in my eyes, the faster I got out, the better. As I write this, I look back and wince about everything that has happened. I don't regret what I did, because there really wasn't much that I could do without screwing up my own college prospects. I've not seen ARBORBEARD since said incident, and I am fine with never seeing him again. ARBORBEARD, please go get help. You need it. Also, let's never talk again. Yours truly, OP. Had a couple of close shaves there, didn't you, OP? God damn, dude. I cannot imagine being in a situation like this. Although you did remain anonymous, I could tell from the story that you are a good little noodle, you know, and you try to do the best for everybody around you, and neckbeards do tend to take advantage of things like that, unfortunately. Even after getting creeped out and showed around his home, you're like, yeah, I guess I'll go back the next day. God! Oh, I will say the ending, a little bit anticlimactic, you know, take the money and run after you drove him to the dealership, but that's probably the way that I would prefer things to end, all things considered. Like, what is the alternative to that, you know? Either something bad happening to OP or something bad happening to ARBORBEARD, which ARBORBEARD definitely does deserve it, but I do understand that, you know, OP's got his own program going on. He doesn't want to risk his own college prospects in some sort of futile effort to, like, try and take down this predator, you know? And that's fine. We all have paths in life. You escaped unscathed. ARBORBEARD doesn't seem like the most malicious sort, you know? There were a few situations there that were pretty hinky, but he didn't do anything aside from make some lewd comments, so hopefully karma will get to him in the end, and I have no doubt that it will, but yeah, I think OP made the right choice by not trying to take it into his hands or anything like that. Definitely a weird story. Low rent is a great lure, especially for like poor college kids, but oh my God, that would not have been worth it. So I'm glad you escaped, OP. I'm definitely glad that you wrote this story down for us. It was beefy, it was beautiful, it was delicious, and I'm super glad that you're doing well for yourself now. Probably got a good job, you know. I don't know if you got the master's degree quite yet, but you could afford a therapist at the very least, and that's a good start. I hope things are going well for you, and don't hesitate to reach out if you need me in any way, shape, or form. Although I don't want any of your juices, and the door is locked. Oh, Lord. I cracked myself up a lot in this video. If I cracked you guys up as well, I do hope that you guys will like, comment, and or subscribe. If you did enjoy, maybe share it around. This is a good one. Self-contained, nice and lengthy, gives a good flavor for what ReddX is all about. So I do encourage you to share wherever you would like. We've also got links in the description, mine and my wife's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, Teespring, which I mentioned, if you're trying to rock that merch, my personal subreddit, r/ReddX Reads, where this story was actually posted, and we've got the Amazon affiliate link, which currently goes to my microphone, but if you click through there, search anything up on Amazon, then I get kicked back like a little something from Amazon. It doesn't add to your payment or anything like that. It's just a nice way, you know, little win-win if you needed something anyways. I've also got the social medias down there, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, oh, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them all. The list is growing, my goodness. So let's knock it out. Zero MMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waite, Cider Drinker, Tato Fair, The Last Shinobi, Aaron W, John Hero, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Miss Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, TSM Kirby, Redwin, Synaptic Boomstick, Jerry, Staples Yeet, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry. My boy Nat One Nick, Brilliant Tamago, that big delicious jelly donut, the one and only Livison, the OG James Cook, Aaron Lennox, Serrated Ash, Zuka, the Maestro, John Indoors, Princess Rosalie, Zatharus, and joining us today we've got Vanilla Mel. One of the most delectable flavors, and I'm sure one of the most delectable patrons as well. Thank you guys so much for helping to support the channel monetarily. It is absolutely huge. If anybody else out there can help support, that is just massive. Thank you very, very much in advance. But if you can't right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because really,
The views is how my beard stays buttered.
in order to join us again, friends, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, super important, but also equally as important is taking some time out and doing something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching some more ReddX videos. Ooh. It's a great idea. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.